For years, young men of daring have come to Colorado Springs to learn to soar like eagles at the Air Force Academy. Today, the cockpit view of the Flying and the Fury will be at track level in the Pikes Peak 300K. The 24 of Jack Spray continues to lead the point standings, but this season's four-time winner Ron Hornaday is close behind. Things are looking up for Joe Ruttman, and Jay Sauter gives his season a thumbs up as well. But keep a close eye on Tony Raines and the pole sitter Mike Bliss. In the close combat of truck racing, victory and defeat can be separated by mere inches. Close bump and go driving is the rule, not the exception, so fasten your seatbelt. This could be one wild mile-high ride.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presents the Craftsman Truck Series.
In the shadow of Pikes Peak in Colorado, the Craftsman Truck Series makes its first visit to the nation's newest super speedway. Let's go right down to the starting grid and Dick Berggren.
Mike Bliss has won the pole for today's race with the fastest truck in the field. He has already won on a mile this year. But, Mike, this is a brand new racetrack. The trucks have never been here before. What's the strategy? How do you win on a brand new track?
Well, at first, you just need to go out there and ride along and take care of your tires, because a Goodyear tire is the most important thing here. We've been working on the setup, and we think we got the setup, and we can adjust on these pit stops.
Okay, starting on the outside of the front row is Mike Wallace. This is his best start of the year. Now, Mike hasn't won anything since 1996. How bad do you want to win this thing today?
Well, Dick, I told my whole team just to meet me in victory lane after the race. So we got both the guns loaded. I think we're going to take the Pure Leader Pure 1 Chevrolet to the front. We're at the front. We're going to stay here and win this thing today.
He's confident. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Terry Cook's been getting pretty good at qualifying on these one-mile racetracks. At the last one at Nazareth, he qualified 6th. Here today at Pikes Peak, Terry, you start 3rd. But your crew chief, Gary Showalter, says the one thing keeping you from victory lane is calming down once the race gets started. How are you going to do that today?
We've been talking about that basically since Nazareth. Just be patient in the truck. We've came here with a good truck, and if we're patient today, I think a good finish will come for us.
Mike Joy, if Terry Cook can slow down, he'll go fast here this afternoon.
Thanks, Ralph, and hello, everybody. Brand new racetrack for these teams, most of these drivers, and this series. And there's an awful lot that's new here today as this series comes off great momentum from California. Thrilling race last week. Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. Buddy, for most of these drivers, whole new racetrack.
It is that. It's so smooth, it's mirror smooth. And the groove out here, several trucks wide. You're going to see some great racing and exciting racing today.
Some of the drivers had a little trouble adapting to this new racetrack for the second time in 3 weeks. Barry Bodine had a top 5 qualifying pass on his first lap. Then the second lap looked like this.
Mikey's into one there. He picks up the throttle. The back of the truck starts around. He tries to get control hard into the wall on the outside there. Moments later, the truck burst into flames. Barry has to really get in a hurry here, get the net down, and get out of this truck. It's on fire all around.
He has gone to a backup truck to start today's race, so he surrenders his second row starting spot. Will start in the rear of the field. He was not injured in that crash in yesterday's qualifying. Now, Jarrett, the other thing that is brand new here at Pikes Peak is a new rule: no more halftime.
Mike, this truck series is 3.5 years old, and the concept has been in the past that you could not change tires excepting during a halfway break. Well, that's changing today. They're going to more like a NASCAR Winston Cup concept, and that is they can change tires anytime. And they've been practicing at the shop. They practice here leading up to the race, so they're trying to get those pit stops honed in.
How difficult is it to change 2 tires and dump a load of fuel in? Our producer, Eric Mann, found these 5 rank amateurs, names you may recognize, to go out and practice pit stops yesterday. Rick Corelli is driving the truck, graciously loaned to us from Chevron Racing, and team manager George Schillinger is on the catch can. Otherwise, it's your CBS announce team keeping their day job secure.
Rocket, Ralph Shaheen to the right rear. He's really into a hurry here.
And look at Buddy Baker jacking up just like a pro.
And throwing his back out.
Yeah.
Ned Jarrett on fuel. Dick
What
Berggren.
a gas man. Everybody wants Ned Jarrett as the gas man.
Now, right about here, a truck team would be finished.
About the time we got the tires off.
That's right. From that point, we were done in 19 seconds. In the red shirt, Dennis Huth, NASCAR Vice President. In the tan shirt at the front of the truck, that's Wayne Otten, the series director. And Wayne's got his pen out, and that's not good news for our crew. 31.8.
What do you mean missing two lug?
You put 2 lug nuts on
That's
one wheel.
exactly right. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
I didn't put 2 lug nuts on one wheel.
Hey, you don't like
Hey, he's lucky the wheel stayed on.
You don't like our decision? No. There's no wheel with 2 lug nuts.
Well, come on, it's air conditioned in there. Let's go.
Hey, Dennis.
We had a lot of fun, folks. Don't try this at home. It was great fun, but boy, it's tough for everybody to do their job individually and do it in a coordinated fashion. We'll be much better at it during this race today. Stay with us. We'll be back with the starting lineup and the drop of the green flag for today's race.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presentation of the Craftsman Truck Series is sponsored by Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology. Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. Nothing outperforms Mobil 1. And by Napa Auto Parts. We keep America running.
Welcome back to the Pikes Peak 300K at Fountain, Colorado, just in the shadow of Pikes Peak today. It's a beautiful day out. They had rain last night and thunderstorms expected later today. 73 degrees, high humidity, and the in-truck temperature is 102 degrees right now. Let's go down trackside to get the first Craftsman Truck Series race ever at Pikes Peak underway.
Gentlemen and Tammy Joe, start your engines.
And ladies and gentlemen, our thanks to Ken Ludwig.
Let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Mike Bliss has his 10th career pole and his 2nd straight on a mile, while Mike Wallace makes his 2nd career front row start here. Terry Cook, big surprise as he was at Nazareth, best start of the season. And Barry Bodine will have to go to the tail end of the field. Ron Barfield, 3rd top 5 start this year, and Ron Hornaday, 3 victories on the miles this season. Jack Sprague, the point leader, won last week at California. Joe Ruttman, winner at Watkins Glen. Leading rookie Andy Houston and the Portland winner, Stacy Compton. 6th start for Dennis Setzer and Randy Tolsma, runner-up in Portland. Rick Corelli has won here in Southwest Tour. It's his home track. Randy Renfro. Kevin Harvick, 4th at Texas. Boris said 3rd at Watkins Glen. Tony Raines, 2-time winner and ASA champ Kevin Sawinski. Brian Refner and the only woman in the field, Tammy Jo Kirk. Row 11, Jimmy Hensley, 2nd at Milwaukee, and Lonnie Rush. Row 12, Tony Roper and the number 2 rookie in the series, Greg Biffle. Then it's Jay Sauter, 3rd at Nazareth, and Rick Crawford, the Homestead winner. Scott Walters alongside Butch Miller. All-Pro champ Wayne Anderson with Lance Norrick. A couple of road racers, Ron Fellows and Rob Morgan. Chris Horn makes his Truck Series debut. He's from Iowa. Jerry Glanville, the coach, with Elvis riding shotgun. Brendan Gaughan makes his 2nd start in the series, and rookie Terry Fisher makes his debut.
Let's take a look at the field today. You have 14 Fords, 17 Chevrolets, and 5 Dodges. You see the Ford and Chevrolet have both won 6 times, and there's only a 2-point spread in the manufacturer's breakdown, Ford leading in that.
And all the drivers who were here made the field, 36 of them. This is a 186 lap race, 300 kilometers. Open pits. Be no halftime today. Fuel window, 90 to 110 laps. Total purse of over $400,000.
This track looks a lot like Michigan or California. It's a D-shaped oval, 10-degree banking in the corners. It's 1 mile around. Because that whole front stretch you see is curved all the way around. It's banked 7 degrees. The back stretch is a straightaway, and it is banked 3 degrees. You're riding with the pole sitter, Mike Bliss, the Team ASE Ford from Ultra Motorsports. And he'll ride along with 4-time race winner this year, Ron Hornaday, the Napa Brakes Chevrolet from Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, starting 6th. Dennis Setzer and the Keselowski's Mopar Dodge will start 11th today, number 29. Rick Corelli, the Remax International Chevrolet from Chevron Racing, will start in 13th position. Randy Renfro, new driver of the MCI Dodge from Pac West Racing. He'll go 14th today. We'll also ride along with Boris Said, the Federated Auto Parts Ford from Irwin Semo Racing, starting 16th. Kurt Rorick's Pennzoil Ford is driven by Tony Raines. It'll start deep in the field today, 17th. Brian Refner, the Carlin Burners and Controls Ford. That's Dale Phelan's truck, number 66, and he'll start in the 19th position. And Greg Biffle is our 9th onboard camera today. The W.W. Granger Racing Ford from Roush Racing will start 24th. Jack Sprague's win at California helped him open up a lead of 41 points on Ron Hornaday. Despite Hornaday's 4 wins, Joe Ruttman, Jay Sauter, and Tony Raines are the series top 5 as we near the midpoint. 27 races. This is the 13th. Chevy Pace truck has the field out of turn 2.
They've been checking out their pit road speed for the last couple of laps behind the Pace truck.
Well, you can see a comparison here of a Western Cup car and the Truck Series. 3,500 pounds opposed to 3,400 pounds on the truck. 750 horsepower for the Western Cup cars, and then the truck very close there with 675 horsepower.
And of course that comes from the fact that the compression ratio is much lower in the Truck Series than it is in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series.
Mike Bliss, number 2 on the pole. Mike Wallace looking for a Winston Cup ride for 1999. As the outside pole, Ford and Chevy on the front row as we get set for a start. 186 laps, 300 kilometers the distance.
Go, 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 go.
Nice clean 2 and even 3 abreast down in a turn 1 start. Wallace on the point.
That proves the point that the outside of this racetrack is as fast as the lower side. You see Hornaday taking second there from Bliss as they head down into turn 3. There's 2 racing grooves here, not like a lot of racetracks where they have to go follow the leader around this racetrack.
Hornaday had second but gave it up as they came to the line. He goes right back after it down in turn 1 against Mike Bliss and takes it. 2 Chevys at the front of the field. Wallace and Hornaday, then Bliss's Ford and Terry Cook.
There's Joe Ruttman in the 99 trying to move on the inside of Jack Sprague.
Riding with Mike Bliss, the pole sitter, now sitting 3rd. That's Ron Hornaday just ahead.
You can see Mike Bliss there. There is a draft here, just like you have at Daytona or Talladega. These trucks cut a big hole in the air, puts a lot of suction behind their trucks in front, so it really pulls them up on the straightaway. You can see Bliss really coming up.
From Ron Hornaday, looking back at Mike Bliss, the 3rd place truck. Pretty much single file through the top dozen. And how about Terry Cook sitting there in 4th spot, right behind Bliss? Has had a couple of good qualifying runs these last few weeks. We'll see if he can stay up with the front runners today.
Terry Cook in the 88 there. You can see him coming off turn 2, and now we're back with Jack Sprague in the new paint job on the 24 truck there.
Sprague running 5th, just ahead of leading rookie Andy Houston. And Joe Ruttman picked up his 2nd victory 1 week ago in a race that at one time had 7 lead changes in 1 lap at California last week.
If you want to set a guy up for a pass here, what you try to do is get a great run up out of the corner, then get to the inside, which Bliss is trying to do right now down the back straightaway. Hornaday just a little too strong for him to make that move.
Once they got in single file, they moved back down to the bottom of the racetrack. That's the groove they used when they were qualifying, but they expected as the tires got worn and heated up a little bit that they would move up into that 2nd groove. But certainly on that first lap or 2, the 2nd groove seemed to be the best, but now they have moved right back down to the inside.
Single file through the front 7 positions. Good battle for 8th here. Randy Tolsma on the inside, number 61, the Idaho driver. 78 outside is Randy Renfro, who's replaced Dominic Dobson in that truck, and they are trying to chase Ron Barfield in that green and yellow number 35 of Charles Hardy.
Well, there's a good example. They've run side by side for nearly a full lap there. And the outside, if anything, seems to have the advantage coming up out of the corner. So as you see the 29 there, Dennis Setzer, the black and white Dodge truck, he's running very well at this time also.
The Remax Tour cars practiced earlier today for their race here tomorrow along with Winston West. And so this is the truck's first time on track today. Randy Renfro's come from 14th up to 9th place in that number 78.
Setzer makes that move on the outside, trying to get by there. You can see the outside groove. He's not giving up much, but right in the middle of the corner, Ned, he just lost about a half a truck length there.
His truck was just not cut the way that it needed to right in the center of the corner, so he did lose enough that he had to fall back in line.
Let's ride with Randy Renfro here. Chasing Ron Barfield.
Just take a good look at the back of these trucks right now. In about 10 more laps, they'll start getting a little jittery in the back as they go through the corner. They'll lose a little. You can see them giving a hand signal.
Caution is out, buddy. That's the reason. Caution is on the speedway. Just 8 laps into this event. Another new rule in the series that instituted it back at Nazareth 2 weeks ago is that if you're battling the leader for position, you can race back to the start-finish line on caution, or if you're battling to get a lap back from the leader. Not the case here because Mike Wallace was well out in front of the field. Rob Morgan, a spin to bring out this caution. That's the Cunningham Racing truck, the number 57 Ford. Morgan, the road racer, back underway. So 9 laps complete here in Colorado. Mike Wallace is Chevy, leading Ron Hornaday, Mike Bliss, Terry Cook, and point leader Jack Sprague. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pikes Peak, Colorado. Rob Morgan's spin brought out the first caution of the day at lap 8. Let's have a look here. Watch the top of your screen as we look at turn 4.
Turn 4 at the top of the screen up there. Rob Morgan goes around. He may have had a little contact with the truck just in front of him as they headed in turn 3, and that caused him to spin coming off 4.
Morgan made a pit stop.
Stayed on the lead lap.
And got a fresh set of tires. The teams are only allowed 4 sets of tires for practice, for qualifying, and then you have to start the race on the tires you qualified on, and you're only allowed a total of 4 sets for the race. That's a cost-saving move that NASCAR has instituted here. No one else pitted other than Morgan, and we're set to go back to green as the pace truck will leave the field at turn 4. Mike Wallace and Ron Hornaday in Chevys. The Ford of Mike Bliss, Terry Cook Chevrolet up at the front.
Mike Wallace had opened himself up about a 10 truck length lead, but right now Ron Hornaday is working on him going into turn 1.
Ron Hornaday is a master at restarts. He's trying on the outside as they come off turn 2 over there to take the lead on the outside. You can see right there Wallace trying to hold him off, but they're side by side down the back straightaway.
Bliss works the draft down in the corner and then drops into the low lane. And that number 2 Ford in 3rd. Jack Sprague is 4th. Cook is 5th. The battle's right behind them for 6th. Joe Ruttman on the move. There's Ruttman you saw inside of Andy Houston at 5th place.
There it is, the 99 truck of Joe Ruttman. He and Houston still side by side. Houston trying to ride that high groove, but it's not going to work as good for him as it did for Ron Hornaday, I don't believe.
That's a good right there. You can see a lot of youth there. You can see Houston didn't even blink when Ruttman took the line away from him down the back straightaway, crowded him over against the wall. He just kept her lit up and took the spot.
Oh, there's old drivers and bold drivers. Now, Joe Ruttman in 99 is one of the few old bold drivers. He'll put it to you when it's time. Oh, look at Randy Renfro, or excuse me, that was Randy Tolsma way up in the groove. He just lost 3 spots. Dick Bergman told us during commercial that Tolsma had a set of tires that wasn't matched up for qualifying, and now he's going to have to ride on them to the first pit stop.
Joe Ruttman quite a bit quicker right now than Andy is going down into the corners. I think Ruttman's truck is set up for long runs. I look for him to come to the front after the tires get hot and he starts slipping a little.
There's Ruttman underneath Houston again.
Trying to get a run coming off of the corner. And up front, Mike Wallace is all over Ron Hornaday trying to get back out front.
There they are, the leaders. Mike Bliss right there as well.
They slipped a little bit, buddy.
Hornaday's beginning to get a little bit loose in the center part of the corner. Mike Bliss tucked right up under there and really helped that situation. You see Mike Wallace on the inside fighting back. Hey, we got us a race here.
There's no question of that. Watching Mike Wallace in Ken Schrader's 52. Now watching from Mike Bliss, the number 2. This is from Ron Hornaday on the outside. Look at Mike work that wheel.
And as you can see a truck right behind Mike Wallace there, Jack Sprague had moved up there and was going to try to give him a little bit of a push down the straightaway, but had to back off a little bit going into the turn. So now Hornaday has been able to move back out front.
And here comes on the inside Wallace, behind him Sprague. Going to take a little while to get used to Sprague in a blue truck. He picked up a new sponsor for this and next season last week in California.
You see Mike Bliss right there now making a move on Hornaday there. Oh, that's why they put one coat of paint on these trucks. I guarantee you it'd be so easy. If you touch them there, it's a wreck.
Back to turn 1. 18 laps complete. There's Wallace still digging on the inside, and Bliss comes down to cover the spot and to look for the lead. He slides right up behind Hornaday. It doesn't look quite so close from this roof cam view, but it's close.
Mike, that was pretty close just a second ago. What they're doing right now, Mike Bliss is not getting in the mirror where he knows exactly where he's at. He's taking his mind off his true line around the race course. And if he can get
trouble, turn 3, one truck in the wall. And everyone else gets by. That is Ron Fellows, the Trans Am winning road racer from Canada. And a Jerry Glanville 81 is in it, and the 51 of Tammy Jo Kirk is the yellow truck on the right side of your screen. They are crashed at turn 4.
Tremendous damage to the front of Glanville's truck there, the 81.
Here comes the field back to the flag. Caution is out, second time today at lap 19 for a crash in turn 3. Ron Fellows, and then in turn 4 Jerry Glanville, that black 81, and Tammy Jo Kirk.
Chris Horn had just come out of the pits. He had made an unscheduled pit stop, so went a couple of laps down, but I don't think that had anything to do with this. But you can see Ron Fellows' truck really banged up on the rear.
Glanville doing a lot of racing this year, running in he's going to run one of the other races this weekend, Winston West.
Yeah,
an
he
occasional truck race.
Won a couple of weeks ago at Jessup, Georgia.
He's okay. Former NFL coach, and he's a serious racer, but he's, I guess, what we call a gentleman racer. It's not his full-time job, and he makes no bones about it. He's here to have a good time. And today wasn't it.
Coming over to see how Tammy Jo's doing. Where's walking by the truck.
I think Tammy Jo's already climbed out.
She's already out.
That's Tammy Jo there in the blue uniform walking down the pit road.
Tammy Jo and Ron Fellows were racing close. There's Tammy Jo Kirk, the former motorcycle racer, walking back. And apparently Tammy Jo and Ron got together in turn 3. Glanville came into the scene and could not avoid Kirk.
Tammy Jo telling the crew what happened. That's too bad. This early in the race and a new racetrack, wanted to make an impressive showing here.
Let's have a look at it, Ned. Top of the screen.
Okay, you can see they were side by side, and Fellows and Tammy Jo do get together. Let's see where Glanville's coming into the picture as Fellows comes down off the racetrack, the high side of the track, and here comes Glanville. Wham!
There's a contact between the two.
You can see Tammy Jo there trying to get the truck back under control, still sliding. There's Ron Fellows in the 48, backing back across the race course. There goes Glanville on the outside to avoid Fellows.
And here's where finally Tammy Jo loses control and spins.
And so Glanville went, he got by Fellows, and boy, did he hit her hard.
It looked as if Glanville was trying to avoid Kirk on the outside, but as she kept sliding up, Jerry looked to go down. There's a bit of the spill from Glanville's car down to the apron.
Mike, I think when he went by Ron Fellows and made it by him, he started to accelerate again. He looks up, and here's another truck right in front of him.
Yeah, he thought he got by the wreck. He said, boy, I made that one, got by that one, but
also,
it's not over.
Glanville ran over a big piece of sheet metal there from Fellow's truck.
That didn't make it go faster.
Well, and it's possible it may have cut a tire and made the truck unable to steer.
Sure, very possible.
There's Jerry Glanville on the right side of your screen, the coach.
Oh. Yeah, he had turned sideways before he got to.
Yeah. There wasn't anything wrong with the truck. He thought he was by the wreck, and all of a sudden he realized it's a truck in front of him.
Could have been some fluid on the track that maybe had gotten him sideways coming out through there.
So Kirk and Glanville discuss it with their crews, and Ralph Shaheen is right in the midst of them. Ralph?
Well, we'll do the gentlemanly thing and start with the lady first. Tammy Jo, what happened?
Well, I was trying to pass the 48 on the outside. Me and him got together, you know, and I was trying to save it, and I a little overcorrected there. And next thing I know, I got hit from the back with Jerry. There, pretty hard leg.
Well, Jerry, it looked like a pretty hard hit. Was it a linebacker or a defensive end?
Well, I was dodging the first wreck, but I drove over everything. I figured I probably had flat tires anyway. And then I saw her where she was, so I went up there, and then she rolled. But she rolled down. I hit her pretty hard, too.
But you're okay?
I hope she's okay.
She looks just fine.
We're under caution here at Pikes Peak. CBS Sports coverage of the Pikes Peak 300K will continue after this message and a word from your local station. The NFL on CBS returns Saturday, August 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern with the American Bowl, a primetime preseason matchup between Ricky Waters' Seattle Seahawks and Steve Young's 49ers. And coming up next, CBS Sports coverage of the Goodwill Games continues, featuring track and field and men's diving competition. We're under caution at 25 laps for a big crash in turn 3 involving 3 drivers. Here's Dick Berggren.
I've had a chance to talk to the top crew chiefs of all 3 trucks that are riding out in front of the field right now. Freddie Graves, who is with Ron Hornaday, said that their truck's a little bit tied off. They're not too worried. This is early in the game. They're going to come in a while for pit stop. Tires ought to fix that. Timmy Cahuth, who is with the 52 Wallace, said he is really worried about the restarts that Hornaday has able to pull off. Trying to beat Ron Hornaday on a restart is a tall order, and they are concerned about that. Barry Dotson, crew chief for Mike Bliss, says the truck is just fine. They're just biding their time. Right, wide open, biding their time. Mike?
They're still cleaning up in turn number 4, the fuel spill from Jerry Glanville's truck. Ron Hornaday leads Mike Bliss and Mike Wallace under caution. We'll be right back. Cleanup continues, working the 28th lap here at Pikes Peak. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. One of the neat things we get to do in auto racing on CBS that in hardly no other sport is talk to the leader with the event under competition. Ned?
Well, let's check in with Ron Hornaday. Ron, out front there, how are things going for you?
Napa Brake Chevrolet's working awesome. Little tight the first couple of laps, and then when I got out front here, the truck started loosening up, and I think it's just the aerodynamics. But Fred Graves and the whole Napa team done awesome so far.
We noticed one time when Mike Wallace was behind you and trying to get by you, coming off of turn 2, that you did get pretty loose. Is that an indication of, we see it a lot of times in Winston Cup, we see it in the Truck Series too, that when somebody gets right on your back bumper, that it loosens it up?
But you're trying to get these trucks to turn off the corner so well, and when you get behind you, the spoiler's got a lot to play for. They get to take the air off the spoiler. You don't get the rear tires to the ground to make sure like that. But, we found a different line right now. We're going to run a little high, so we'll see if we can see these tires for the halfway here, for the first pit stop, I should say.
Going to be able to hold those guys off?
Long race. We just got to get these points and finish the top 5. The boys will do a good pit stop there, and we'll go on to finish the race.
Okay, good luck.
Now, last week in Colorado, Hornaday's pit crew, to practice up for today's race, pitted his Busch Grand National car out there. Got a little bit of practice. Ralph Shaheen?
Well, this is Bill Johnson, gas man for Stacy Compton. His nickname is Bundy, and one of the keys to a good pit stop is knowing exactly where to go. Now, Bundy, what's this Bundy's Trail all about here?
Bundy's Trail right there is my trail to the gas hole when the pit stop comes on. That's where I plug the tank right there. So I follow that line, everything should come out fine.
Now, what happens if he misses his stop? Your trail's going to be on.
Well, we're in big trouble then.
Let's hope there's no zigs or zags in Bundy's Trail today.
Well, pit stops are new to the Craftsman Truck Series. In fact, I asked his crew chief, Kevin Cram, how many of your crew have done an over-the-wall pit stop under green flag conditions? Garage, he started counting. He turned to me and he went, none. So this is new to a lot of these fellows and to some of the drivers. We'll see how it sorts out here in a moment. 29 laps complete, and cleanup is almost completed up in turn number 4. So we'll take a pit stop from Pikes Peak. We'll be right back with you. CBS Sportsline puts you in the driver's seat with the latest news and the biggest names in racing. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, chat online with CBS Sports NASCAR analyst Ned Jarrett. He'll wrap up the Pikes Peak 300K at cbs.sportsline.com. Next weekend, the PGA Tour on CBS returns with the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Among those expected, Nick Price, Davis Love III, John Daly, and Fuzzy Zeller. Coverage next Saturday and Sunday here on CBS. With the Craftsman Truck Series visiting Pikes Peak International Raceway for the first time, we asked some of the drivers which other tracks are similar to this one.
This is a shrunk-up California, a shrunk-up Michigan. It's exactly like driving at one of those places.
Well, this track is I pretty close to make it look like Richmond. You know, it's not as high banked as Richmond or anything, but the way you drive it into the corners, your whole front straightaway, you're sweeping. The only time you really straighten up the steering wheel is on the back straightaway.
Well, this track is laid out like Richmond, but you're actually driving a lot like Vegas. The track is so smooth that you can go down in the corner and you drive all the way through the corner before you get out the gas.
I question that. I hear him back out. I think he means he goes way down in the corner and then backs out. But I tell you, if you try to go all the way around here, you'll find another county.
I think so. We're getting set for the restart. Ron Hornaday is our race leader. Mike Bliss, Mike Wallace. We were expecting a restart. They're going to go caution for one more lap here. Jack Sprague, the point leader, is 4th. Terry Cook is 5th. Driver from Sandusky, Ohio. Joe Ruttman is 6th. Rookie Andy Houston is 7th. Ron Barfield is 8th. Randy Renfro 9th. Randy Tolsma is 10th. Dennis Setzer, Stacy Compton, Rick Corelli, Refner, and Sawinski are the top 15. Everyone is on the lead lap except Horn. Ned pointed out he's made a pit stop early. He's 2 laps down. And out of the race, Tammy Jo Kurt, Ron Fellows, and Jerry Glanville's truck is in the garage but not yet officially retired. It is officially badly damaged.
Yes, he had a lot of damage to that truck.
2 cautions today so far. We're getting set for a restart for our 3rd green flag run of the day. Making pit stops under that caution, Scott Walters, Butch Miller, Boris Said, Wayne Anderson, and Rob Morgan.
That ought to be interesting. That's his feet there. You see his left foot on the brake right now, right foot on accelerator. I want to see what he does too, because he is a master on the restarts.
That's Ron Hornaday, of course, the leader of the race. And as Buddy said, he is very good on restarts. We'll see how he does it as we watch his feet when the green flag drops.
We don't see the flag man. He has the flag in hand, leaning over the flag stand, ready to raise it, looking. Quick nod of his head at the field.
Green flag, green flag.
There he is, wide open. You see him right there.
Changing gears.
Not using the clutch. They use the Jericho transmission. They just jerk them in the gear.
Hornaday gets off to a great restart. He has a 2-truck length lead. It gets real busy behind him, though.
Coming down the back straightaway, you see his foot wide open as he goes down this long back straightaway toward turn 3.
And you can see Mike Bliss moving right in on him going into that turn.
Now, Buddy, he just feathers that brake pedal just a little bit in the middle of the corner.
What he's doing is helping it turn just a little bit in the center part of the corner there. As he goes along, he'll quit doing that, but on fresh tires, he'll do that to make it really get that maximum grip on the right front.
Bliss trying the inside on Hornaday. Here comes Mike Bliss, the pole sitter, for the lead.
Boy, he is getting a great bite off the corner, down on the inside, gets up beside of him, but will he be able to make the pass?
He don't have bragging rights yet. You see Hornaday in the 16 there fighting back, and now Bliss takes it as they come down the front straightaway.
Clear all around.
That's Mike Bliss's spotter telling him he's clear in the high lane, and Bliss moves up the racetrack. Front 6 single file now as Andy Houston and Joe Ruttman settle out their battle in front of Randy Renfro. Mike Wallace holds that 3rd spot, and 4th is Jack Sprague.
And in 5th place is Terry Cook. And Joe Ruttman at the moment has the advantage over Houston for that 6th position. They've switched that back and forth a couple of times. You can see Ruttman coming into the picture on the right of your screen. And now Houston has a challenge down on the inside.
That's Renfro. He's really been moving up. There's 78, Randy Renfro.
Andy Houston on the outside in the 60 truck, that red and yellow one there.
He's the leading rookie contender in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this year. Has 3 top 5s.
Randy Renfro's come from 14th position up to 7th. From Randy Renfro's.
So bye-bye, Andy. I'll see you later.
Andy Houston, right? You see that red and yellow truck. 2nd generation driver. His dad, Tommy, one of the all-time greats in the Busch Series. Ned, you've known Andy all his life. He's matured into quite a race driver.
Yes, he has. He has dedicated his life to racing. Of course, he grew up in it, has been around it all of his life, has raced around Hickory, North Carolina, and other tracks in that part of the country, has done well, won championships there, and I think he's ready for this type of big-time racing.
That's Randy Talsma there in the gold truck just behind Andy Houston. You see him sticking that nose out every once in a while, thinking maybe I ought to make this pass in a hurry because Andy is fading just a little bit.
Tolsma has a lot of empty racetrack behind him. Tolsma for Idaho. Another one of the young stars of this series.
You see Houston's truck go up as he came off the turn, gave Tolsma an opportunity to look inside at least. And Randy Tolsma has been very impressive. We see side-by-side racing behind him too. That's Dennis Setzer in the black and white number 29 Dodge on the inside of Ron Barfield in the number 35 truck.
Right behind them, Brian Refner, 66. Now you ride with Refner, the Carlin Berners Ford.
Two well-matched trucks there side by side. I don't see any advantage as they go down in the corner. You see Setzer there on the inside.
It looks like, buddy, you can drive. If you're up in that second groove, you can drive a little bit deeper into the corner. Of course, with Setzer being down there, his line into the corner was taken away, so he had to back off going into the turn.
Yeah, but he's not giving up. He's making another run there. You see him on the inside, almost on the flat part. As a matter of fact, the left side did go on the flat part of the racetrack down below the racing groove.
Buddy, we've seen that several times today where their driver will go into the corner and drop the left sides down on the flat a bit. What's he trying to do there?
Trying to de-wedge it enough so it'll really turn and put more pressure on that right front wheel where it'll get a better bite into the corner.
And these guys are accustomed to running short tracks. You do that a lot on the short tracks. Want that traction so you can get off of that corner, get her turned right, so it won't spin coming off of the corner. And here's Ruttman and Houston still battling.
7th place battle here. Joe Ruttman, 99. Andy Houston and Randy Tolsma.
Tolsma went backwards for the first few laps. Boy, now he's going to try to go forward as those two trucks tangle a little bit. And he just took both of them.
Well, it looked like Joe Ruttman got a little bit sideways in the corner, and suddenly Houston and Tolsma were right on him. Tolsma had a lane to go, and Andy Houston, the only way he could go past Joe Ruttman was to go through him, and he couldn't.
That's exactly right. He had to back off, and Tolsma was right there. Made a great move, took advantage of the situation, and moved right on around. Said, see you guys later.
Randy Tolsma, that number 61 truck, came out of Idaho where he raced on paved tracks, worked his way up. He's been to Indy, and he has won a race here in this series. Great motivational speaker for Motor Racing Outreach. He is a comer in this series, and I think he's going to go far. Let's check with Dick Berggren.
Well, Mike, we told you earlier that the truck that Tolsma is in wasn't running well, wasn't handling at the beginning of the event. The racetrack apparently, or it's come to him, so Tolsma is now handling much, much better. It is a brand new truck built by crew chief, something that's a bit different. They've never done it before. Dave Hughes put the thing together. This is his first time on the racetrack, and it's running well now.
Mike, a lot of times the guy will have problems with his truck and change his line into the corner. Changing its speed and the line getting in the corner and actually fix it without going in to make adjustments to the truck.
Good point. Here is Jack Sprague, 24. That truck was green last year, white most of this season, and now they have GMAC as a sponsor through 1999 for Sprague, trying to defend his championship. He's the point leader, and he's closing in on Ken Schrader's truck, driven by Mike Wallace.
Well, I tell you, Hendricks has to be proud of all their operations, and this is one of their best. It's just like watching Jeff Gordon on the I mean, he can make that truck turn, getting in the corner. He's real quick getting in right now.
Let's check with Ralph.
The end of practice yesterday in the engine of that number 52 of Mike Wallace. They were able to change the motor in about 2 hours and still qualified on the front row.
Trouble.
This is a better engine.
And he's got some kind of trouble, though, right now, Ralph. Something went wrong, buddy.
I could see sparks coming out from under the right front as he started into turn 3. Very lucky, no contact to the outside wall, but he has a definite problem with that truck.
Tire flat, I believe. I believe the right front went flat on it.
Mike Wallace makes a green flag pit stop unscheduled. Sparks flying from that right front. As he comes down pit lane, you see that spoiler almost right on the ground. And what a tough break for Wallace. He's been in the Winston Cup Series, hopes to return there next year. Here's Ralph.
Well, the crew goes to work on the truck, Mike. Bobby Meeks working the jacks. Billy Fusco changing the rears. Huffy putting the gas in, and the tire was definitely flat off the right front. They'll be just about done. Huffy says the gas is full.
Trouble on the right rear.
Problem on the right rear, Mike. Problem on the right rear. Billy Fusco working that right rear tire. Don't know what the problem is yet. They were having some trouble with air guns earlier today. We'll see if that was the problem. Now, you can only use 2 air guns to make a change. If you go for a third one, that costs you 15 seconds. We'll see if we can find out what the problem was.
36-second stop for Mike Wallace will put him 2 laps down. And
he's got more problems than just that tire going flat. I saw a lot of sparks coming out from under that truck as he goes down the back straightaway. You see just under the right front wheel there's something dragging.
Yes, there is, buddy. You can see a lot of sparks coming from it. Now, here he is. This is what happened to McKinley. As Jack Sprague went by, and you see the sparks coming out from under him, and he almost goes into the wall. And we figured the right front tire going flat. Of course, that'd make you go high on the racetrack, but he's still got those problems.
Yeah, the tire going flat may have been a consequence of whatever broke there in that suspension.
Well, in that area up there, it's either a sway bar or a shock absorber. Something's hanging down just on the right front corner of that truck. They will black flag him, make him come in pretty soon here.
Wallace on the bottom of the racetrack, not headed for pit road. He's going to try to stay out, wait on a caution, and hope it's not him.
Mike, you can watch the truck in the corner. The right front corner is just laying completely over on that truck.
Yeah, they might do him a favor if they black flag him.
Well, NASCAR's had a look at it as he's come by. We stay under green, and there's as yet no black flag in the hand of the starter. So at 51 laps, Mike Wallace is 2 laps down. He stays on the racetrack.
Of course, he's the guy sitting in that truck, and he knows the feel of it. So apparently, whatever it is.
He's pitting.
Okay, he's coming in now. So, yeah, he's found out. I need to get in here. Well, that's too bad. He had an awfully good truck and was looking forward to a good run. Thought he could win this thing, Ralph, but not today, it doesn't look like.
Now, Ned, on the last time he radioed in, he thought maybe it was the sway bar that had broken. So they're going to bring him back in once again. They're going to work on that right side, and they're going to check underneath now to see if they can figure out what is wrong with the truck. So they've gone inside the engine bay, checking up in the right front where the tire was blown. Now, the Goodyear officials were looking at the tire. They were unable to see what exactly could have blown the tire. There was no big cuts in it, no big tears. They don't make any adjustments. They just take a look. We'll see the one with crew chief Jimmy Cahoot here in a second.
Wallace will go back out and try it again. Meanwhile, Mike Bliss is the race leader. Ron Hornaday second. Jack Sprague is third after making that pass. And up to fourth now is Randy Renfro. Fifth is Randy Tolzman. 5th race that Mike Bliss has led this season. 4 of the 5 races he has led have been 1-mile racetracks, including this one.
They're liable to do anything.
That truck has Robert Yates motors in it, and I tell you what, Mike Bliss is a very...
Trouble, turn 2, just in front of the leader.
There's the yellow.
Wayne Anderson is the truck up against the wall.
The other is Horn there, turned around backwards.
And Anderson, the former All-Pro champion, now driving for Liberty Racing, co-owned by NBA star Brad Doherty. Waits for the traffic to clear. While Chris Horn, rookie in the Truck Series, tries to get refired. Damage to the right front of Horn's truck. Caution comes out of lap 56. It was the caution Mike Wallace had hoped for. It just didn't come soon enough for him.
Yeah, that's too bad now. Will the leaders make pit stops during this caution? 56 laps.
Well, Ned, we had a lot of questions on strategy. Some drivers thought they might run with a change of right side tires, run the lefts all the way. Some teams said they would change rights on the first stop, lefts on the next stop, and then rights on a third stop. There's a lot of different thinking down there on pit road.
Yes, there is, and it'll be interesting to see. Now, they can only change 2 tires during a caution flag pit stop, unless they have a flat. If they have a flat, then they can change that other tire without a penalty.
And again, they're only allowed 4 sets of tires for practice qualifying and the race. Pace truck is in turn 4. Let's see which way the leaders turn when they get to the entrance of pit road.
Well,
stay out.
No, coming in.
Maintain your speed now.
A little gamemanship there.
40 mile an hour pit road speed limit.
4,300. Okay, we're doing right side, 10-4.
That was
Okay,
Mike
get it in
Bliss.
pretty close to the wall.
Watch your pit road speed.
Stop it back from the sign, George, is 3 feet. Get it close to the wall.
And that's Mike Bliss's crew chief, Barry Dodson, who is jacking the truck. Ralph?
Barry Dodson goes around to the right side. Mikey hasn't jacked in competition since 1993, but he is today. His brother Brad going to work changing the right front tires. They go to work up the rear as well.
You're okay. Go on. Don't speed. Good job, guys.
The
Get
crew
smoked
has
up.
been practicing for this moment all year long, and they are fighting. No, Tolsma beats them out. Tolsma and Hornaday almost side by side with the 24 of Sprague. Big rush out of pit road. Everything at the front end looks good, Mike.
Mike Bliss leads Jack Sprague off pit road, then Hornaday, Tolsma, and Randy Renfro. Jay Sauter picked up a number of spots with a good pit stop by Will Linden crew. Jimmy Hensley also gained some ground on these caution flag pit stops. So most of the trucks on the lead lap have pitted under this third caution of the day. We'll be right back to Colorado after this. 59 laps complete here at Colorado, getting set for the restart. A quick look at what happened here. The tail end of it as Chris Horn and Wayne Anderson got together. That's all there was. Up there in turn 2, we're getting set for a restart.
Didn't look like there was too much damage done to either truck.
I believe they'll both continue, Ned. Lance Norrick is the 25th different driver to lead the Truck Series this year. National Hockey League truck leads Boris Said, who pitted on the prior caution and not on this one.
Well, they better get it in gear because they got a rocket ship just behind them there. Mike Bliss, I look for him to be there in about, just say he's going to take second down the back straightaway. It looks like they're side by side right now, he and Boris Said.
It doesn't take him long with those new right side tires to move right back up there into second place. And I'll say while we watch them, those drivers trying to come back up there, Andy Houston was the big loser on that pit stop. He went in running 6th and came out running 24.
Also, Terry Cook went into the pits in the top 5 and came out of the pits in 13th.
Ron Hornaday there on the outside, going around Boris Said on the outside. Now that's a different net. You just pointed out new tires and old tires. You can see right now Hornaday and these guys clearly much quicker.
And of course that'll play into the strategy as the race goes on. They didn't know exactly how all of that would play out. Coming here with a different challenge as far as pit stops are concerned. But here's Bliss going for the lead.
We're all around.
Mike Bliss from Milwaukee, Oregon.
Go on, baby.
Open wheel champion in USAC, trying to win his first Truck Series title.
Now this could get interesting back in the pack here as they're running side by side. You see Jack Sprague there in the 24 kind of sandwiched in right now and can't make a move. This is when you have to use a lot of caution.
Sprague got together there with Jay Sauter just a little bit.
Yeah, you have to discipline yourself in these situations. There's Houston. He's passing a lot of trucks on the outside. He's picked up, now he's up to 21st position. So picked up 3 positions here in 2 laps.
Going to work on Tony Raines, the number 19 Pennzoil Ford. And Greg Biffle, the number 50, just ahead.
Dennis Setzer in the truck number 29. He also lost a lot of positions on that pit stop.
Dennis Setzer on the inside. Look, a little contact there. Biffle gets sideways and Tony Raines got in the back of him a little bit.
Looked like Biffle got a little loose. Raines had the momentum. Got him into him, and you lose that momentum, and look what happens.
How about 3 wide getting into turn 1?
Dennis Setzer wisely backed out of that situation. He was the meat and the sandwich in the middle.
Kevin Harvick into that battle as well, number 75 in Wayne Spears' truck. Well, Randy Houston's going to try to pull that pack to the front.
Tony Raines in the yellow, number 19. Dennis Setzer in the black and white, number 29. It's the Dodge Setzer's driving and a Ford that Raines is driving. Kevin Harwick in the blue and white, number 75. On the right of your screen, hanging right in there with them. That is positions 19 through 22nd.
And they've caught the pack just ahead, Ned. Now this is going to be a tough one for Andy Houston to pick his way through. There's been a lot of paint traded right in that pack at the bottom of your screen, headed up by Rick Corelli.
Yeah, they're up there running side by side. There's nowhere to go unless you do go 3 wide, and I don't think that's going to be too smart.
Let me tell you, Andy Houston isn't waiting on anybody. Look at him on the inside there as he passes trucks one by one down the back straightaway on the inside.
Gets past Boris Said, who was second when they dropped the restart green flag. It's coming fast.
Well, I'm sure that Boris said, hey, I wish we would have changed tires. But
well, they played for track position, and
now they're losing it.
Yep. Dick Berggren.
Reason for Andy Houston's long pit stop, Mike, they had an air wrench fail up front. Now, a lot of these teams are using air wrenches that have been, well, broken in by Winston Cup and by Busch Grand National teams, and it's no surprise that we've seen one fail already today.
Houston on the move up to 17th position.
There's Setzer moving on the inside of him. Dodge on the move.
I was just fixing to say, I believe if anything, Dennis Setzer there in the black and white, number 29, maybe just a little bit quicker than Houston.
They're coming up on Butch Miller, running 16th. And Lonnie Rush in that teal number 10.
Yeah, Butch doesn't have anywhere to go. He's in the blue and white. Number 18.
Oh, don't do it.
And Houston almost had no place to go, but on the truck.
Mike, did you see how far sideways Andy Houston got coming off turn 4? He was looking out the right window, driving straight ahead.
He said, man, I worked so hard to get by all of these trucks, and now I got to do it all over again.
Well, he ran right up on Lonnie Rush in that number 10, who lost momentum there suddenly. Rush, former shock specialist for Bill Elliott's Winston Cup team. Ooh. And now Houston's going to have to work his way by somehow.
There's not much of a place to go.
And a lot of traffic.
There's Setzer down on the inside, 3 deep going into the corner.
Gives a little room to Butch Miller. And is that Stacy Compton at the head of that group?
Now what he did is pinch down getting in the corner there. Tony Raines had a lot of momentum on the outside. He makes the move on Setzer as they come down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Andy Houston fighting back on the outside there. He's not giving up. He's trying everything he can to get by this group of trucks.
Some great racing back in the pack. And again, this is 15th through about 22nd that we're watching.
Boy, these D-shaped racetracks, momentum, that really is the key. If you lose your momentum, it's going to be a bad day.
Mike, you don't have to run 200 miles an hour to have great races, and this proves it. These guys are fighting it out back here. Like you said, back in the pack here, there's great racing just like there is up front.
Let's have a look up front where Ron Hornaday has a new challenger, Randy Renfro, in the Dodge. Renfro attempted to make the Daytona 500 in a car owned by Dr. Dick Skillen, a physician from Connecticut. Skillen, who drove sparingly in Winston Cup from 74 to 78. They didn't make the show. Renfro drove in 7 truck races in 1996. Best finish was 12th. Only made 2 starts last year. And now he's right up here in 3rd place.
And he has company right on his back bumper as Randy Tolsma has pulled up there in the 61 truck.
He's running a wide line getting in the corner, but Tolsma's got a real strong truck down the straightaways here.
Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, it was in the area of the sway bar that Mike Wallace had the problem. See this piece here? It broke. When it did, it now looks like this. It dragged this piece on the ground, and look how it wore it down. It should look like that.
That's where all those sparks came from. Didn't take long to wear it down.
Post 4th of July fireworks. Mike Wallace now back on track, but he is 15 laps behind, trying to stay in the top 10 in points. Renfro has a look at Hornaday for second. That's something you don't see often, is Hornaday getting past.
Hornaday's truck is not able to run the lower line like he could in the first part. Not taking anything away from Renfro, though. He's driving the wheels off his truck. And getting awful sideways doing it.
He almost drove the fenders off it, buddy.
Here comes Randy Tolsma now. Just that little bit of momentum there, he lost another spot.
He had to get out of the gas, get everything back under control.
Tried for second, ended up fourth.
Yep. That's how close it is.
Now there's quite a gap, 2 seconds from leader Mike Bliss to this pass. Second, third, and fourth. Hornaday, Tolsma in that silvery gold and red, number 61. And then Renfro's Dodge. Ford in front, Chevy, then Dodge, then Ford of Joe Ruttman. I guess it kind of figures you'd have a trucking line sponsor a race truck. They have 400 trucks running in all 48 states in the continental U.S. And they use Randy to both build image for their business and for their drivers.
Good way to do it.
Every Winston Cup driver I've ever talked to that come over to the truck division and run a race, first thing they tell you is these trucks are fast down the straightaway, but you have to have a lot of talent to keep them from sliding out because they're not allowed to run the cambered rears like they run in Winston Cup cars. It's basically a straight up rear end in these trucks, and they slide more.
Plus, they don't have the downforce that a NASCAR Winston Cup car would have all over the car. And these guys have to do a lot of driving. You're right. And these fellows do a good job at it.
You're riding with Ron Hornaday, the second place truck. Now we're on board with Rick Corelli, who's moved back up into 13th position. CBS Sports coverage of the Pikes Peak 300K will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presentation of the Craftsman Truck Series is sponsored by Ford. The official truck of NASCAR is built Ford top. AT&T, it's all within your reach. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
At Pikes Peak International Raceway, Mike Bliss, the pole sitter, has come back to the lead. We just completed 84 of 186 laps. Ron Hornaday in second has knocked that lead down. It was 2.3 seconds when we went to commercial. Now it's down to 1.7 seconds.
Ron Hornaday has altered his line through the corners right now, and he's really getting the most out of his truck, getting a little better grip in the center part of the corners. Closing Bliss's truck right here and see Hornaday definitely on the move.
And Hornaday has pulled away from a couple of trucks that he was battling with not too long ago, Randy Tolsma and Renfro.
Those two trucks, Ned, got caught up in some lap traffic, had a little harder time getting through the traffic than did Hornaday. Another driver who's had a bit of trouble is Greg Biffle, the number 2 rookie on the tour. Came into the pits, thought he had a tire going down. They changed to, could not find a flat one, sent him back out. He is 2 laps off the pace. 28 trucks are on the lead lap here in Colorado as a result of the crash in turn 2 when Anderson's gone 1 lap down, now 2 laps down. Biffle is 2 laps down. Horn is 3 laps back. Horn and Wallace have made 10 laps down.
And Boris Said, who was in second place on the restart, is now the last truck on the lead lap in 28th position.
There is Boris Said, who made a pit stop earlier and did not pit on this last caution flag to take on tires as the leaders did.
Line now.
Said he's following Terry Fisher, a rookie, making his first truck series start.
Next 2 guys are
It's only about 3 seconds from going a lap down.
Said has caught Fisher, but he has the leaders catching him.
As we ride with Boris Said, you'll see a green light right there, and just down the straightaway another green light just before the corner. What that is, those are safety lights around the racetrack, and that's another safety device for the drivers when there's problems on the racetrack.
He's about 12 truck lengths ahead of the race leader, Mike Bliss. And then Bliss has a big gap. Battle here, 3rd place. Randy Renfro back after Randy Tolsma.
Showing a lot of patience there. You see Tolsma truck going up the racetrack right now. Renfro on the inside. He stuck his nose in there and realized that he couldn't know he was there. He backed out very wisely.
Randy Tolsma, the number 61, with 3 top 5 finishes this year. 2nd at Portland, 3rd in Monroe, Washington, 5th at Bristol. But his record on the 1 miles has not been that good. His best is a 10th at Phoenix.
Inside.
12th at Milwaukee.
Still inside.
Now he's getting a run coming off of turn 4. Let's see if he can make the pass there. Tolsma moves out a little bit again as they come off the turn.
Slowing you down, Randy. Let him go. We need track position. Clear.
Okay, that's two Randys racing together. Which one was he talking to? I think that he was talking to Randy Tolsma instead of slowing you down.
Here's Rick Corelli, the Remax number 6, moving up on Terry Cook and battling there with Dennis Setzer in the 29 Dodge.
Who says it's in the contact sport? You see those donut balls down the side of that 29 truck where there has been contact? When they get in the corners, they'll rub just a little bit. You see it right there.
Messes up all those decals. Setzer has the spot.
He has moved up to 12th position now.
Corelli 13th, and they're moving up on Cook. Work underneath the 57 of Morgan, who's laps down. You're looking out the back of Dennis Setzer's truck. And Rick Corelli, a little wobble off the corner.
Mike, when we watched Setzer coming through some heavy traffic a little while ago, he was back 16th, 17th, you know, to 20th position and kept working his way up. Now he's up to 12th.
Taking a low line there, going by some more traffic down the front straightaway. The truck must be doing very, very well getting in the corners. You see him go by a slower truck there.
Well, no, that's Terry Cook. That's for position, buddy.
That's a slower truck.
It is right this moment. But Cook's now in 12th place as Setzer moves up to 11th.
Pretty good piece up to the next truck, which would be Refner in the truck number 66. So he's got some clear sailing before he runs into others, and he pulls away from those he just passed and puts some distance on. You can see there how far it is up to the truck of Brian Refner.
As we watch from Refner's truck, we're halfway, and for the first time in the history of the Craftsman Truck Series, on a mile oval, we've got the halfway sign and no halftime break following. They will make their pit stops under green and caution, just as the Winston Cup and Busch Series do. The big difference is only 5 men allowed over the wall to service the truck, plus a catch cam man if they're being fueled. 7 are allowed over the wall in Cup and Grand National racing.
Plus the fact that they can only change 2 tires, as we mentioned, under the caution. Now, if they stop under green, they can change as many tires as they want to.
Ned, here's the race leader on pit road. Mike Bliss at the halfway point. Looks like he's going to run this race on 1 stop. Now, stopping under green, he may lose a lap. So if this is a scheduled pit stop, it's a big gamble by Barry Dodson.
Mike, he's got a right front flat.
Yes, Ralph Shaheen.
It is with Mike Bliss. He's got a right one that he cut down. So Brad Dodson, who changes right front tires, goes to work on it. His brother and crew chief Barry jacking the truck up. They'll clean off the grill as well. They'll put another right rear on and fill up.
Don't see now, Mikey. There's
And
the
a
leader
pretty
just
good
going
stop
into
for
one.
14-second range.
Good stop, Ralph, but it was not a scheduled stop, and it will
Mike, go
cost
get him, babe.
Mike Bliss a lap. So he is 1
Hey, get
lap
your
down
emergency
the lead.
ride back up here.
Re-enters the track on the back straightaway, and it hands the lead to Ron Hornaday.
Clear now. Leadership.
Glad it didn't work. Gone.
Yeah, when you have to come around the racetrack, and you come around the racetrack, it really chews you.
That rim gets a pretty good bite of that tire, too, as it's rolling.
Here's your new leader, Ron Hornaday. He has a 3-second advantage on Joe Ruttman. Randy Renfro has moved to 3rd. Jack Sprague is 4th. Randy Tolsma completes the top 5. We're just past halfway in Colorado. We'll be right back.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
At 98 laps, 4 different leaders, 6 lead changes, average speed slowed by 3 cautions for 20 laps to 92 miles an hour. Out of the race after a crash between Tammy Joe Kirk and Ron Fellows. Those 2 trucks went to the garage, as did Jerry Glanville, who was also caught up in the accident. Watching from Ron Hornaday as 1 truck, Wayne Anderson, was slow on the back straightaway. Mike Bliss has made another pit stop. Trouble on Bliss on the right front once again. Here's the battle for 2nd place. 99 Joe Ruttman, 78 Randy Renfro.
Joe Ruttman went up and just passed Renfro with little effort at all, but all of a sudden Renfro found his line around the racetrack. Now he's making a charge back, trying to get 2nd place back, and just behind them Jack Sprague is running very, very well right now.
Also Lance Norick, who led 5 laps earlier, made his first pit stop on lap 90 and lost 2 laps. It's a right front tire down on Wayne Anderson.
He almost hit the wall coming off of turn 4 and then went through turns 1 and 2, Mike, and really the tire went down. As we watched that battle for a second, Renfro has it.
Randy Renfro back to second place. That's Sprague at the top of your screen, the point leader and last week's winner, stalking Joe Ruttman. No love lost between those two.
No, as you see them running side by side now, as you're looking back from Renfro's truck here, you see Jack Sprague just make the move. A lot of times when you make that charge to the front like Ruttman did, you abuse the tires a little bit and you have to kind of cool them back down for 4 or 5 laps and then make your charge again.
For more on Jack Sprague, here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Mike, Jack Sprague came into this event certainly as one of the great favorites to win it. He is the master of the mile, and he is now closing in on the leader. As good as that truck looks right now, it can be better. Just after the pit stop, he radioed to his crew and said, it's tight. About 15 laps later, he radioed back and said, it's way too tight. So count on them adjusting that truck on this next stop and watch that 24 go forward still more.
Dickey also came to this track a very sore driver. That crash on the last lap at Nazareth, caused by a broken oil line while he was running third, took him hard into the Nazareth turn 4 wall, and he bruised several ribs. Dr. Jerry Punch taped him all up to run in California, and winning there was a good tonic for Sprague, but he's still kind of hurting. He leads Ruttman right now.
Plus the fact that he wrecked a Busch car out in California too, and added to those injuries in practice last weekend.
And here's today's Aflac trivia question. Which 2 drivers have won at least 1 race each year since the Craftsman Truck Series began in 1995? Let you ponder that one for a while. Give you a hint, it's neither of the 2 drivers on the screen, Joe Ruttman and Jack Sprague, because I knew somebody'd be guessing that way.
Yeah.
Sprague now up to 3rd behind Hornaday and Renfro. Ruttman back to 4th. Randy Tolsma holds 5th. Jay Sauter is 6th. Jimmy Hensley suffering from the flu, but he's come up from the back of the field for 7th. Ron Barfield 8th. Dennis Setzer 9th. Brian Reffner in a top 10 spot. You know, that wreck at Nazareth took Sprague out of 3rd place on the last lap, but he still finished in the top 10. He's been in the top 10 every race this year.
Mike, we're fixing to have a race for the lead right here. You're riding along with Hornaday right now in the 16 there. Renfro in the 78 has run him down. He seems to have the fastest truck on the track to me, Ned.
Yes, he does. The truck is working very well. He's getting good traction off the turn as we take 2 views from the front and from the rear of another truck, and he's ready to work on it.
Let's talk about this a little bit too. Dodge has not had a winner all year long. Would that be a big feather in his cap if he could win the first race to Dodge of the whole season?
Dominic Dobson, who spent last year for Dodge in the North American Touring Championship, is listed as the owner of this truck, and he was the driver. They put Randy Renfro in the truck here for Pac West Racing, and boy, Renfro is about to take it to Ron Hornaday for the lead.
Tremendous forward bite from the center of the corner of the straightaway. Right now he's leaving and trying to take the lead away from Hornaday as they go down into turn 1.
Randy Renfro has worked that bottom groove like no other driver today.
He'll have to earn it. Hornaday is very, very hard to pass.
He is making him work for it, and one thing that he wants to do is keep him pinched down as much as he can, get those tires heated up.
Still clear behind him.
Now he makes the pass. He just drove her down in that corner and it's stuck.
Oh, and he gets loose coming off turn 4.
But it stuck for a little bit. And that
he went into the corner and almost didn't come out. And that's where a fellow like Ron Hornaday, champion of this division, veteran driver, says, you want to stick it down in there, you go right ahead and let's see what happens.
I tell you, that truck's not sticking all that well. He's driving it pretty well loose off the corner, but let me tell you, he hadn't been in front in this truck. That adrenaline flow is going right now. Young driver, hey, he's going on.
He's real good going into the corner. You saw right from the middle of the corner, he pulled Hornaday a bit there.
Morstead making a pit stop, Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Ned, Todd Myers is the crew chief for Renfro. And Todd, what's the story? Is it the Dodge, your driver, and the setup you put under it?
It's a little bit of all three. We try to do everything in as a group, and Joey Arrington's got us a real strong motor today, and Randy's driving a really good race. So the only unfortunate thing is we probably might have to make 2 more stops. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Well, how's your pit crew? How was your first stop? Were you happy with it?
bunch on that first pit stop. I couldn't ask for better people right there.
The engine builder he mentioned, Joey Arrington. That's a name from NASCAR's past. Joey's dad, Buddy Arrington, veteran Dodge independent campaigner out of Martinsville, Virginia. Joey started as a young age cleaning parts in that engine shop, and he's come to become the most prolific Dodge engine builder in this truck series.
There's no doubt about it. You're exactly right. Buddy Arrington had great horsepower even years back as he was just a young man doing this.
From Tony Raines' truck, the Pennzoil Ford, running in 11th place here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. We'll be right back with you watching the Craftsman Truck Series live on CBS.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle Tafoya. Coming up after the conclusion of the Pikes Peak 300K, we'll have coverage of the 4th Goodwill Games from New York. Our headliners include Dan O'Brien, who nearly set a world record in the decathlon, Marion Jones, the world's fastest woman, Karts Karai, the triple Olympic gold medalist volleyballing in Central Park, and the big comeback performance in gymnastics by Olympic champion Dominique Moceanu. All that ahead. Now let's send it back to Fountain, Colorado.
The NFL on CBS returns Saturday, August 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern with the American Bowl, a primetime preseason matchup between the Seahawks and the 49ers. Tonight on CBS, early edition, followed by the Magnificent Seven and Walker, Texas Ranger. When we went to break, Jack Sprague was coasting down the back straightaway, and he has rocker arm trouble. Cautions come out for Mike Wallace. Dick Bergeron's in Hornaday's pit.
And this caution could not have come at a better time for Ron Hornaday. The right front tire on that truck was beginning to fray. They were worried about it, that it even talked about coming in to make an unscheduled stop. So fortunately, they got a scheduled stop. Right side tires are on. Let's go to Ralph.
Oh, horrible pit stop for Renfro. They talked about the problems down here on pit road. It wasn't even their fault. They got blocked in by Brian Repner's truck, and then as he tried to leave, they had to push him back, try to get him to go forward. He even ran over one of his own crew members. It was a horrible stop, and it cost Randy Renfro the lead big time.
And he lost a lot of positions there, and as you said, Ralph, it was not his fault. He got blocked in, and just a bad situation for him.
As we pointed out at the top of the show, many of these crew members and a good number of these drivers have never made pit stops in green flag competition or tire stops under yellow in the Craftsman Truck Series. That's all new today. Ralph?
Well, Todd, your own driver ran you over here. The crew chief gets run over. That's not supposed to happen.
When you get pumped up leading your first NASCAR Super Truck race, things are going to happen. So we're all right as long as I got everything done on the truck.
And everything is okay on the truck, but tell me about getting blocked in by Repner now.
It's just one of them things that happens when we're green. Everybody's not used to doing pit stops. And it's just one of them things that's going to happen every once in a while.
Did he apologize to you as he went away?
No, it won't. No apologies will be done until after the race. So, thanks.
Todd Myers, crew chief for Randy Renfro, trying to get that tough right front tire out of the way, and gets turned over. We're under caution for Mike Wallace, who brushed the wall in turn number 2. Another right front tire going down on Wallace's number 52 truck. So Renfro comes out of the pits in 9th position. Hornaday is the leader. Randy Tolsma moves up to 2nd, and Jimmy Hensley has climbed to 3rd, putting a Dodge in the top 3.
There are just 20 trucks on the lead lap now. Andy Houston had just gone a lap down a few laps before the caution came out, and so that helped Randy Renfro maybe from going farther back, that there were no more trucks on the lead lap than there were.
Last Dodge win, September 1997, Bob Keselowski at Richmond. Okay, Aflac trivia question: which 2 drivers have won at least a race every year since this series began?
Well, we know that Ron Hornaday is one of them.
Yeah.
And the second is not Jack Sprague. It is
Joe Ruttman.
Mike Bliss.
How about that?
Yeah.
I knew that. I was just told back there.
Yeah. Here's your race leader. Hornaday has 4 victories this season, 3 of them on 1-mile racetracks. And here is Mike Bliss, who had a right front tire go down, and that dropped him 2 laps off the pace in 26th position.
And then had another right front tire to go down, so he lost a lap each time when he came in during green flag.
Now, still on pit road with the hood up is Jack Sprague's truck. Sprague has only 2 finishes out of the top 5 all year, a 6th and a 10th This will be his first non-top 10 finish. A rocker arm problem in the valve train on one bank of that V8 engine is the difficulty for Jack Sprague. They are going to try to do something to isolate that cylinder and get him back out there for points.
That's exactly right. They'll probably take the rocker arm off and take the push rod out so it'll just run on 7 cylinders and not create a bigger problem.
Sprague came in here with a 41-point lead on Ron Hornaday, who is the race leader. Dick Berggren?
Well, believe it or not, they're taking the rocker cover off the right side of this engine, Mike. This is something you almost never see during the running of the race, but this guy's leading the points. They've got to get this thing fixed and get it back on the racetrack. So far, because of all the wires and hoses and cables there, they have been unsuccessful in getting the cover off. They've got to get that cover off before they can change the rocker arm. Then they got to put a new one in, and then they got to set the valve lash on it. So they're going to be here a while.
Up until today, Dick, Jack Sprague had completed all but 1 mile this series has run this year. 2,060 racing miles until his problem today. Let's have a look from Randy Renfro's truck as he tried to get out of the pits. That's Brian Repner's truck just ahead.
You can see him pushing back there. Here's the guy going after the tire there. He gets bumped just a little bit.
And he's mad at himself for not being able to get out of the way.
Exactly. He got some moisture there that was left as they made the pit stop.
He bumped into the gas man for Refner and went down, as you said, in a little bit of a spill there. But Renfro is back on the racetrack. He's in 9th place.
You ready? Truck is in.
Third Dodge in the field, and we're getting set to restart.
Green flag.
Hornaday in blue. The gold truck is Randy Tolsma in second. Jimmy Hensley and Richard Petty's Dodge is third. Lap trucks on the inside.
Talking about Mike Bliss losing 2 laps because of tire problems there. Trying to get up there to Hornaday. Maybe to get 1 lap back. If the caution come up, he'll be right back in that spot to get back on the lead lap pretty soon.
Mike Bliss in truck number 2. Chasing Hornaday. How about Randy Tolsma? He's had a great run today and finds himself in 2nd place.
Had a good pit stop apparently, and he has had a good run on the racetrack. And here's Bliss now going after Hornaday, try to get 1 of those laps back. He is 2 down, but as Buddy said, if he can get in front of him and then have a caution to come out, he'd make up 1. Certainly put him in a lot better position. Right now he's in 24th position as he tries to move on the inside of Hornaday coming off the turn.
Side by side down the front straightaway, Mike. Right now you know that Hornaday does not want to let Bliss back in there. They're in a points race towards the end of the year also.
I think mainly he doesn't want to let Bliss tow Randy Tolsma past him for the lead.
Well, you see Randy Tolsma in the 61 there, Jimmy Hensley in the 43, and just behind him, Joe Ruttman. We have a lot of fast trucks in this front group.
Hensley must have made a great pit stop. He's up there in 3rd. He was 7th when the caution came out, and he's right there with him. Joe Ruttman in 4th place in the 99 truck, and in 5th is Jay Salter.
Mike Bliss, number 2, trying to get back on the lead lap, but Hornaday's working that top group. Look at the pull that Bliss has off the corner.
He's had that all day. That truck has been very good. Those 2 flat tires cost him.
Just behind these 2 guys as they fight side by side, we have a tremendous fight for 2nd and 3rd. These guys 3rd and 4th, I mean, these guys are going at it.
I really believe that Hornaday would be better off to let Bliss go and fall in behind him. But that's not the nature of a race driver. You don't want to let a guy get a lap back that's that strong if you can help it.
This time, Hornaday clears Bliss just by inches.
Almost. Here comes Bliss right back on the left rear corners. They go down into turn 3.
Now Tolsma gets inside of Hensley right behind them. Tolsma's going to try to follow Bliss up through, give him a little help here out of turn 4.
Well, Hensley saw what was going on. He was running in 3rd place, so he moved up on the outside. He felt that Ron Hornaday was the one that was going to prevail as far as that's concerned.
They made contact getting in the corner there, Bliss and Hornaday. You could see Bliss drop back about a truck length there.
Now Tolsma on the inside may get the advantage up from Hensley. Now Bliss, remember, is not on the lead lap. The truck we're riding with is not a lead lap truck. He pushes up the track. Here comes Tolsma on the inside. Ooh, he and Hensley get together.
Bliss got a great run off the corner. Now he's pulling even with Hornaday as they go back at it again, going into turn 1. No deal. Hornaday goes in a little bit harder.
And Hensley comes right back up to the outside of Randy Tolsma.
And Bliss once again moves down to the inside.
Trouble. Turn 2. A truck has spun. And And it's Brendan Gaughan. In the number 20, teammate to Butch Miller. No caution. We're going to stay green if he can get refired.
But still sitting there.
Caution is out now.
The spotters better be telling these guys the yellow come out after the lead trucks went by.
But Bliss is in contact with the leader. Mike Bliss is allowed to race Hornaday back to the line. He goes past him.
He does.
Because they did not take the caution flag. The caution flag flew after they went by, so Bliss can come around and get one of his 2 laps back after he passes Hornaday.
I don't think Ron Hornaday realized that, and he just saw the caution light, and the crew told him the caution is out, and heads up driving by Mike Bliss.
One of 2 things, Ned, because that is a new rule in this series. Either Hornaday was caught unaware, or he doesn't want any more of that side-by-side running, and he let Bliss go. Wonder which.
Well, we don't know. It'll be interesting to see. He was out in front of Bliss when the caution did come out. He had about a 2-truck length lead on him, but then he abruptly slowed down, and Bliss just took off.
There's Brendan Gaughan, the truck that brought out the caution, and he's pancaked the right side up there against the turn 2 wall. So we're under caution for the 5th time today. Well, who else had a great run? Jay Sauter. He's come from 25th to 5th place. Led the league in most improved positions total during the race for 1997.
Is Hornaday coming into the pits? He's the only one of the top ones. Now Sauter is coming in.
That might be a great move.
Maybe to get left side tires on. They haven't changed left side today.
I think it's a great move.
15.
That gives Jimmy Hensley the lead over Joe Ruttman and Randy Tolzman. Left side tire.
Exactly. You can see Jay Sauter.
Dick Berggren?
You got it exactly. He had not changed left side tires all day. Neither has Randy Tolzma. But Tolzma has elected to stay out. Hornaday's guys were concerned about how long those left side tires would last. About 12 seconds flat on that pit stop. He's going to have to pick up the back of the lead line, though.
And remember, you cannot compare these pit stops to those in the Cupper-Busch series because only 5 pit stops over the wall in the truck series.
But you don't see many Winston Cup stops for a 2-tire change much faster than that. That was a very good pit stop.
And that will get Hornaday to the end of the race. Let's show you what happened to Brendan Gaughan up in turn 2.
Well, we see him up into the wall, and then it goes around on him right in front of some traffic. The traffic went on by. Here's some more going by.
Morris said Rob Morgan get past.
Right there, it choked down on him. He couldn't restart. Hit hard, though, on the outside, pancaking the whole right side of that 20 truck.
Second career start in the truck series.
Well, not the way he wanted to get on television.
No, he will fall to 4 laps down as they continue to make repairs on that truck. Andy Houston comes on pit road.
So does Mike Bliss. They're each 1 lap down. Big break for Mike Bliss. He made up a mile on the racetrack there and is now only 1 lap down as he comes in. Now he'll get right side tires on his truck, but say he has been in before. I think he took on lefts during the last caution.
And Mike Wallace is in. He's 18 laps back. We're getting set for a restart. And the Dodge of Jimmy Hensley. Fellow from Horse Pasture, Virginia. Part of Ridgeway, Virginia. And a guy who literally married the girl next door. He and Becky grew up next door neighbors.
Boy, if you see one at a racetrack, you see the other two everywhere they go.
They didn't even date until she was in college. And all through Radford College, they dated, married, have 3 daughters. Jimmy Hensley has been in Winston Cup, had a great Busch career, has a Winston Cup pole, subbing for Dale Earnhardt when Hurricane Hugo kept Earnhardt down on the farm. Hensley hopped in the car at Martinsville, Virginia, put him on the pole. They call him Hurricane Hensley now. And he has the lead in Richard Petty's number 43 Dodge.
And we're about to go racing.
See Mike Bliss down there, 4th in line on the inside. If he can get back up there, he can make up another lap.
53 laps to go. Greg Biffle trying to move up on the race leader Hensley and get one of his 2 laps back. Riding along with Greg Biffle.
Hensley's truck pushed out, getting in the corner there. You can see him taking a very high line through the corner there. Biffle closed up about 10 truck lengths on him as they went down into turn 3.
Lonnie Rush, 2 laps down, also trying to get a lap back from the leader.
He had made a green flag pit stop.
Ron Hornaday got into the back of rookie Terry Fisher, 41 there.
That's more or less just like blowing the horn at somebody.
From Rick Corelli's truck. Rick has now moved up into 6th place. The High Plains Drifter, they call him, from Denver, Southwest Tour champion, and he's raced here before in his tour car and done well.
Look at this group coming down towards turn 1 there. 3, 4 wide down the front straightaway, trying to sort it out as Hornaday goes to the outside of Rick Corelli in the middle part of the corner.
6th place battle. Hornaday eases on up as Corelli has to work around the 29 of Setzer and does so.
Oh, he's still working on that little move right now. You can see down the straightaway, Setzer gives up quite a bit of speed, though.
Yeah, I wonder if he has a cylinder, maybe.
Something's wrong. He's off the pace in the 29 truck there.
He was the 4th place truck at the time of the restart. Now you're looking on the right side of your screen forward from Rick Corelli. On the left, you're looking back at Corelli from Ron Hornaday.
Yes, Setzer definitely losing speed on the straightaway. He lost a cylinder at Nazareth a couple of weeks ago, had a great run going there, and it looks like he's done the same thing here today.
Well, nobody got a lap back from Jimmy Hensley. The Virginia gentleman has his Dodge in the wind. Greg Biffle right behind him is a lap down. And here comes Joe Ruttman, 99. Look at Hornaday, the traffic that he's got to plow his way through. And just ahead is that fast Dodge of Randy Renfro, 78.
Well, they better get with it, because Hornaday don't like to run anywhere but first, and he'll be coming up through there. You can count on it.
Renfro up to 4th now.
60, Andy Houston a lap down.
He is 23rd.
One car against the wall, turn 4, Barry Bodine straightens it out. Excuse me, it's not. It's 41 Fisher. Barry Fisher, but he straightens it out and will stay green. He brushed up against the wall at turn 4. And will limp his way around to the pits. Green flag stays out. 141 laps complete. 45 to go.
There's Mike Bliss moving down on the inside. He's in the blue truck, moving on the inside of the gold and brown truck of Tolsma.
They call that tote.
Oh, you're the fashion police
Here
today.
we
Is
go,
that
I'm
it?
telling you.
Mr. Baker.
Well, you have to know these things.
Old country boy in brown.
Did quite well.
Well, Joe Ruttman, we talked about old, bold race drivers. Ruttman is one of them, and that 99 Roush Racing truck of Ruttman is drawing a bead on the race leader.
If Mike Bliss running 3rd place on the racetrack right now, you can see there, if he can make a pass on these 2 in front of him, another caution comes out, he's back in this show.
Here's what happened to Fisher that almost brought out another caution flag. Got up in the marbles.
Where she went. You can see the dust flying up off the rear tires of the 41 truck. When we say marbles, that is nothing but rubber buildup and a lot of debris on the top part of the racetrack.
A lap after that, Andy Houston got way up in the marbles, but did not hit the wall. A couple of updates. Dennis Setzer has dropped the cylinder. It's confirmed from the pits, and Jack Sprague, the point leader, is back in the race. Now, Sprague is 24 laps behind, and he is in 33rd position.
And there he is, right in front. Or right behind right in front of the leader. And caution is out.
Oh my, they're getting the yellow right now. Bliss didn't quite make it on Hensley. He made a move on the inside, but couldn't make it.
Look, like just a little bit. And he said, oh man, if it had been 1 lap later, I'd have had him.
Fisher is stalled there, trying to get to pit road between turns 3 and 4. That's an access road that the Indy cars use as the entrance to the pits where he is, but it's not a safe place to leave a truck. So we're back under caution, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Pikes Peak International. 147 laps completed. Jimmy Hensley in a Dodge leading the first Craftsman Truck Series race that's been run without a halftime to change tires and make adjustments to these trucks. How have we done so far, Professor Baker?
Well, I tell you what, if you don't like this, you don't like racing. It's full contact sport, I promise you. They go in the corners, they slide these trucks into each other. It's just great. I love it.
Well, it's good racing, and really we have a lot more trucks on the lead lap at this point, Mike, than I thought we would have maybe under this concept. There's still about 20 trucks on the lead lap. We've seen some very good pit stops, some good strategy there, and we've seen some problems in the pits as we suspected we might. But all in all, I think it's been good.
Only a few, though. I think the pit stops have largely been what the teams hoped for and practiced for, and they've really risen to this challenge. But it's made the strategy pretty interesting. Left tires, right tires, and how many stops do you make in this race? And we've seen a lot of fellas lead this race we don't normally because of that.
You know what it's down to now? Who wants it the most, though?
We're about to find out. Let's see. We're going one to go here. We'd hope to check in with one of the drivers on our in-car radio, but we're just about to get going. Let's get a quick word with Tony Raines, CBS here. How's your race going so far? Can you give us a little update?
It's pretty slippery. You know, we've been making adjustments to the truck, but we ain't getting any results from it. So we got as good tires on as we got, and 40 to go. We'll see what we can do.
Thanks. Good luck the rest of the way. Tony Raines is in 7th place right now. Let's check with Ralph Shaheen.
To update you on your leader, Jimmy Hensley. Remember, he came into this race with a flu bug. He's been feeling horrible all week. Leading the race will make him feel a little bit better. The only problem is he has not gotten left side tires yet, and the truck is very tight on the bottom. He's forced to run a groove up on the racetrack.
The 2nd place truck at the time of the caution, Joe Ruttman, has also made a pit stop and surrendered a lot of track position. Ruttman now lines up for this restart in 17th place. Getting ready to go green. This will be lap 149.
Looking up on the outside. There you go.
You heard the spotter there tell Hensley, watch him on the outside there. He's trying to make a move, and here comes Bliss on the outside to get back in the lead lap.
And Biffle on the inside to get one of his 2 laps back.
And Biffle, I think, had gotten a lap back earlier, Mike. I think that puts him back on the lead lap. He had gotten the lap back after Jack Sprague had his problems. He was 2 laps down, but when Sprague went into the pits, that left him only 1 lap down, and a caution put him right back up there. So both of those trucks now back on the lead lap.
And you're right. Coming after the leader, Jimmy Hensley. Ron Hornaday inside, trading paint with Randy Tolzman.
Boy, oh boy, with a caution right now, change this thing around, because we have 2 great trucks that have made up 2 laps on the leaders. Hensley right now fighting to get back on Biffle, though. You can see him right there, the 3rd truck back in this picture here, and Hornaday on the inside.
Well, Hensley knows that he needs to go because he sees Hornaday in his rearview mirror.
36 laps to go.
And can Hensley go all the way without another pit stop as far as fuel is concerned and those left side tires?
Randy Renfro coming up underneath Randy Tolzman.
Just like he was driving here now.
That'll be for 3rd place. Hornaday to the inside.
Keep digging. He can't pass you down there.
Well, I don't know about that.
Hold your line. Hold your line.
I wouldn't bet the front porch swing on that one. I'll tell you what, Hornaday is a very, very active driver when it comes to making up spots getting in the corner.
Hensley tries to come back on the outside. There he is. Drops in line behind Hornaday. Renfro is up for 3rd. Randy Tolzma is 4th, and Jay Sauter is 5th. Rick Corelli in 6th spot at his home track. From Greg Biffle, who's now gotten back on the lead lap, as Ned pointed out.
And now let's remember that Hornaday has fresher right side tires, and look at him dive down to the inside of Biffle.
Whoa,
slid right up into it.
Right.
Yeah.
He got her a little bit sideways there under Biffle. Had to fall back in line down the straightaway, but as he goes in this next corner, he ought to make his move pretty easy going in.
Well, it may be easy getting up the side of him, but coming off is going to be another problem.
Full contact racing. There was contact there by the 16 of Ron Hornaday, but he made the move.
See, way out in front of him is the 2 truck of Mike Bliss. He was able to pull away while they were doing that racing, so he stays in the lead lap. Mike Bliss in 21st position now. So you have 21 trucks on the lead lap.
You might think these trucks have bumpers on the sides, the way they drive them.
They do. You're fixing to see another one.
All right, Ron Hornaday's gone back to the lead. For more on Hornaday, Dick Berggren.
And let's ask Freddie Graves. We're getting right on down to it. What's he going to do from here?
I'm sorry, Dick, I can't hear you very good, but Ron said the truck was still tight, and we had a gamble and come in on that last pit stop and change left sides, and we're really lucky we did. The left front was just about worn completely out, and he said the truck's pretty good right now.
Well, lucky and smart, too. Terrell Shaheen.
Fred Wanke's a crew chief for Jimmy Hensley. Fred, how are you set up for the run to the checkers here?
Well, I think we're a little bit tight right now, but we're still going to try hard. The Cummins Dodge is doing a real good job. Maurice Petty built us a real good motor.
Do you have enough fuel and tires?
we're good to go there.
30 laps to go. Ron Hornaday trying to hold off now. Randy Renfro in the second spot. Jimmy Hensley and Randy Tolsma side by side right behind him.
Yeah, but look at this guy right here. He has moved up into second place, Randy Renfro, and he might be gaining on Hornaday.
Jay Sauter and Greg Biffle got together there. Now Sauter's coming up for 4th place. Tolsma backing up a little bit.
Jay Sauter there, he's very, very consistent on lap times all day long. You see him making a move on Biffle on the inside in the 3 truck there. Very, very good, strong run today.
Andy Houston lapped out. Sauter coming on here at the finish. Underneath Biffle, who was once again 1 lap down. And Hornaday just streaking away from this field, but Renfro not letting him get away. Oh, Houston just about got into the back of Jay Sauter there.
You're looking at the truck on the move right now, Randy Renfro in the 78. Let's watch him go around the racetrack one time.
See, he's not down on the bottom of the racetrack like the trucks were early. Most of them have moved up into the second groove through the turns. But, Buddy, as you pointed out a couple of times, it goes in very wide, makes a good arc going into the turn.
And right to the bottom, right on the white line there, then lets it run the diamond in the center part of the corner and a good run down the straightaway.
A little different in the 3rd and 4th turn. We'll watch him come in here, and same place here doesn't go quite as low in turn 3 and 4 as it did in turns 1 and 2. So the groove a little bit higher on that end of the racetrack.
Last lap, 1.16 seconds behind leader Ron Hornaday, and he knocked a 1/10 of a second off at that lap.
He is gradually gaining. Boy, he's driving that thing, giving it all he's got. They thought here on Friday that he'd have a shot at the pole, but he didn't quite pull that off. We're talking about Randy Renfro. So they knew he had a fast truck right from the very beginning.
Look at this interval here, Mike.
Just about 1.1 seconds, 1st to 2nd. Come past the stripe once again, and the interval stays the same. Rick Corelli battling there with 66. Refner and Tony Raines trade a little paint.
There has been some paint trading going on back in that pack. Joe Ruttman back in there. You can see his truck back there that after he made that pit stop trying to move back up through there.
Ned, he's come from 17th to 9th. Ruttman is really flying. That's that. Okay, Baker, what color is the nose of Ruttman's truck?
Well,
if I say pink, you'll say magenta or something like that.
Well, yeah, there you have it.
Okay. Anyway, it was at the left of your screen there. Here's Ruttman. The Jack Roush Exide truck.
That might be a little purple. What do you think?
Yeah, whatever you say.
Okay. Chartreuse, somebody said just now.
Chartreuse is yellow-green. My gosh.
Whatever it is running very, very well, but you can see right there that he has a lot of company. Back in the pack here, let me tell you, just because the guy's running 19th does not mean he's not earning his money.
But they're running in the 8th and 9th.
Yep.
These 2 trucks right here, you're right, all of them all the way through the field are driving very hard as Ruttman tries to move on the inside of Raines now, try to take away that 8th position.
You know, this track has proven to be so competitive. Nobody's had an easy lap here all day. I mean, they've been side by side the whole race here. There are 23 laps left to run here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. CBS coverage will continue after this word. Welcome back to Colorado. After 169 laps, Ron Hornaday has opened up a 2.6 second lead on Randy Renfro, Jimmy Hensley, Brian Refner, and Jay Sauter. Then it's Randy Tolsma and the man on the move, Joe Ruttman. Here's a look at Renfro, the second place truck, and Ruttman made the pit stop for left side tires, Dick Berggren told us, and has come from 17th up to challenge for 6th place.
He is on the move, no doubt about that. He's been able to pass a lot of good trucks, and now is about to pass another one.
Right there is where he has the advantage. You see him when he picks the throttle back up, he just rockets upside Tolsma as they go down the back straightaway. And into turn 3, you should have great grip and make the move pretty easy.
So moving up is the 99 of Ruttman, up into 6th place. Dick Berggren, Randy Tolsma was a rocket early in the show, but what's happened to him since that last pit stop?
Well, unlike Ruttman, Mike, he didn't take left side tires, and his crew chief, Dave Hughes, just told me that was was a mistake. That's why Rutman came in. That's why Hornaday came in. There were a whole bunch of them that were going to try to run this whole thing on one set of left side tires. That wasn't the fast way to do it, it turns out.
Ned, the pit stops have really changed the strategy of this series.
They certainly have, no doubt about it. It's made it very, very interesting. And here's a battle for third. Brian Refner 66 truck has really been on the move, now about to take over third from Jimmy Hensley. Refner passed Jay Salter a few laps ago, pulled away from him, now trying to take over third.
I think Jimmy Hensley's truck is giving up a little bit in the corners right now. In the center part, right there, you can see he can't turn, and they get back in the throttle a little bit quicker than him. He's giving up a little bit in the center part of the corners.
So Hensley will drop to fourth. You're riding with Refner, who's moved up to third place. 13 laps to go. And Hornaday's lead is now 3.2 seconds.
Boy, you can see Jimmy Hensley's front lose grip there. The truck absolutely moves 2-3 feet. 2 or 3.
Trouble in turn one. A truck has been spun to the fence. Jack Sprague got into the side of Terry Cook, and Cook ended up at the fence. Caution is out.
Mike Bliss will be in this action again. That really was in his favor there. You can see Cook back underway there. Left rear kind of. He'll probably come in right now and change if you think left rear is up. Right front is flat though. It just went flat. You can see it pop as he started down the back straightaway.
There's a look at Sprague. There was contact between those two, and there were a couple of other trucks right at very close proximity. Sprague, remember, is 24 laps down after engine trouble. Terry Cook was on the lead lap after starting this race well up in third position. He stayed on the lead lap here, but going to take some repairs.
Boy, a flat tire sometimes can tear a fender completely off. Look at debris coming off turn 2 over there.
And you see the sparks flying underneath the right front suspension of Terry Cook's truck. No gutter ball there. Cook's had a great run going today. I think probably the best his truck racing career.
He did have a great run. She said he was still on the lead lap, but going to lose it now.
11 laps to go. CBS Sports coverage of the Pikes Peak 300K continues after this message and a word from your local station.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presentation of the Craftsman Truck Series is sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a fresh, cold, Beechwood-aged Budweiser. And by Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology.
Welcome back to Colorado. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. You see dark clouds off on the western horizons coming in over Pikes Peak and bringing lightning and perhaps thunderstorms with them. We have 9 laps to go, Dick Berggren.
Yeah, and Ron Hornaday's wife, Lindy's not watching the weather. She's watching the monitor to see how her husband is doing. Are you nervous? You look nervous.
I'm nervous. These last few laps are making me very nervous.
Is it more nerve-wracking when he's leading or when he's deep in the pack?
When he's leading, when there's just a few laps to go, it makes me a little nervous.
Well, that's where he is. To Ralph.
Well, Todd Myers, crew chief for our second place man, Randy Renfro's had a heck of a day. He's been run over and everything else. Now, can you take advantage of this yellow and maybe get a win?
Well, it's going to be down to 2 Saturday night racers. I just told Randy, I says, everything you used to do on Saturday night, you're going to have to do with him. So it'll be up to the 2 of them, whatever they want to do. Hornaday's got 4 tires, and we only got 2, so he thinks he can do it.
Mike, there's one other thing he's going to have to do before the green, and that's shake his leg loose a little bit. He has found that the seat is a little bit uncomfortable, and Randy Renfro has had his leg fall asleep on numerous occasions today.
Okay. So it's Ron Hornaday against Randy Renfro. Brian Refner is 3rd. Jimmy Hensley is 4th. Jay Sauter is 5th. 6th is Joe Ruttman. 7th, Randy Tolsma. 8th, Tony Raines. 9th, Rick Corelli. And 10th, Stacy Compton. As you look at the 2 leaders, couple of Saturday night specials they are.
Well, this will be a Saturday night special, and when the crew chief said that Hornaday had 4 tires and they had 2, that doesn't mean that they just got 2 tires on that truck. Hornaday has 4 fresher tires than the 78 truck, which has not taken on left side tires.
Ralph Shaheen.
This is Les Bach, crew chief for Ryan Refner. Now, you guys sit in 3rd. You made a hard charge. Can you get up to the lead?
Well, we'll see. We're running a couple tenths quicker than what the leaders were. You know, I guess Ron wasn't really having to push it for sure. So we'll see what we got when we get there.
Third, remember, gentlemen, is a career best, and Les did crew chief Brian to his ASA championship just a couple of years ago.
Mike, you can see them sawing back and forth on the steering wheel, making sure they get all the debris off the race tire and everything before they go back to green. A flat track like this, if you get buildup on it, when you go in the corner, it'll push right out of it here. Let me tell you, third place ain't a bad place to be if these guys go at it.
Let me give you the rest of the trucks on the lead lap, buddy. 11 is the 55 of Tony Roper. 12th is Scott Walters. 13th, 40th birthday today, Rick Crawford. 14th is Barry Bodine, who started last. 15th, Kevin Harvick. 16th, Ron Barfield. 17th is Mike Bliss, who just took on fresh left side tires. 18th is Dennis Setzer, and 19th is Butch Miller. Those are the lead lap trucks. We're under 10 laps to go, so they'll restart single file.
And the sleeping line when we go back is Joe Ruttman. He's right up there again.
New left side tires, one caution to go for 6th place Ruttman.
And Mike Bliss has fresh left side tires, but he's back in 17th place. I don't think he can get to the leaders, but he should pick off a lot of positions, and we're going green right now.
Oh, look at them protect that outside where they can't pass before they get to the flag.
Renfro's truck didn't take off, and boy, it caused a big jam up. Let Ron Hornaday get away, and look at all the scrambling going on.
A land rush here in the high plains as Brian Refner is the fellow who got caught out on that one.
He's got tire rub on the left front, Brian Refner does. You can see down the back straightaway. Will it cause him a problem? Maybe not.
66 Refner, left front tire up. Randy Tolsma works the outside against him. 61.
That left front is really bashed back in on Refner's truck. The 78 truck just simply didn't take off on the restart, and it jammed him up.
Look, Ned, like he could have missed a shift. It just did not pull off.
But he's still up there. He's still up there in 2nd place.
Looking from Rick Corelli. Tolsma, the taupe-colored truck, and Refner on the inside.
Well, if you notice, the left front of Refner's is not, yes it is, it's still pouring smoke off as he comes around, but it apparently has not hurt the running gear of the truck. He seems to be back up to speed.
It's got to hold up for 5 more laps. Corelli has now moved up to 6th. Here comes Refner right back after him on the inside. And Bliss is moving through traffic as well.
Look in front of these guys. They're really going at it up. As you see Joe Ruttman down there trying to get under everybody. Great racing.
Ruttman and Sauter battling side by side just ahead of these two for 4th place. There they are. And Ron Hornaday, he's driven away.
Yeah, on that restart, he's the best there is on restarts, and then when they got jammed up behind him, that just made it that much better. He just drove away and just sitting there riding.
And there he is, your leader, looking for his 5th victory of the season and his 4th on the 1-mile racetracks.
See his drinking hose there. He's taking a nice drink of water in case somebody does come up there. You see Ruttman has moved into 4th.
Trouble, turn 4. Andy Houston gets together with Barry Bodine, and they save it.
So Houston has a lot of damage to the right side of his truck. He's got a tire rubbing his right front fender as he goes into turn 1, and there's Barry Bodine. Barry is on the lead lap. Just 3 laps to go. He'll have to try to ride it out here.
Lance Norrick passing him on the outside. Randy Renfro is starting now to hold off Tony Raines.
Tony Raines fighting on the outside there in the yellow truck, trying to get by. Right now, you can guarantee he's looking in the mirror. Look just behind him there. Joe Ruttman's got company.
Ruttman on the outside, digging hard.
Oh, they make a little contact, and again.
A lot of contact. And that killed their momentum. Here comes the rest of the pack right after them. Sauter down to the inside. They touch, they hit, and up into the wall is Refner. Caution is out. Hornaday across the stripe. Renfro 2nd, Raines 3rd. Now, this race cannot end under caution.
Refner had made a great comeback from the damage to the left front corner, made it 3 wide going down in the corner there. You see the results, hard into the wall.
We've talked all day about how important momentum is. When Tony Raines got into the back of Randy Refner, or excuse me, Randy Renfro, and broke Renfro's momentum, the whole rest of the pack came to them. They got 3 abreast, and something bad was going to happen.
Had to happen as hard as they were racing there. They just went in that corner so hard, and they had to touch.
You know, Ned, we were talking about Mike Bliss a while ago. He has moved all the way to 9th now.
He was in 17th position, so he has picked off 8th.
Here's the way they're running. Hornaday, the leader. Renfro held on to 2nd through all that, and Tony Raines, the yellow and black truck, is 3rd. Joe Ruttman is up to 4th. Rick Corelli picks up 5th. 6th is Jimmy Hensley. 7th, Randy Tolsma. All these drivers moving up a notch as Refner is in the fence. 8th is Roper. There you see Refner is out of the truck. He's okay. Stacy Compton's up for 10th. Dennis Setzer, Rick Crawford, Scott Walters. And there's the damage. It was this truck, Jay Sauter, that was way down on the inside trying to go into turn 3 wide. And the damage to the right front of Sauter's number 3 is a result of him running into Refner as they got into the corner.
And, of course, they cut his tire down, so he's in getting a new tire. So they'll take a green, white, and then checker?
That's the rule in the Truck Series. The race cannot end under caution. They go green flag, come around and take the white flag, and the next flag they'll see is the checker.
And this should be an exciting couple of laps, too.
Well, let's see what happened. We had in-car views. Let's show you some other views of what happened. Remember, this was occasioned by Tony Raines getting into Renfro. Loss of momentum. Here they come.
And Sauter down on the inside got together, as you said, with Refner in the 66 truck. And Refner was the one that came out on the short end. Well, really, both of them came out on the short end, but Refner got the worst end of the bargain.
And Refner had done nothing wrong.
No. Really.
It was when Raines lost momentum. There's Raines on the outside. That allowed Sauter room underneath and Refner. But 3 cars into turn 3 wouldn't go.
Joe Ruttman just sneaked by on the inside of the 99 truck.
And Refner was trying to get on the inside of Raines, and Sauter was trying to get on the inside. Okay, here they are coming into the turn.
Boy, that tells the story right there. Whoa.
As we said at the top of the show, the difference here between victory and defeat, mere inches. From Rick Corelli.
He says, oh, this is going to be big. Stay down low, and you did. Went right through it.
One thing you do on a flat track, you never go to the bottom of the top of the racetrack, because that's where everything that runs goes.
Celebration of NASCAR's
187 laps complete. Here at Pikes Peak International, we'll be right back. It's become a shootout on the high plains. They will take the green flag this time by the white flag and the checker to finish off this 300-kilometer race. Ron Hornaday is the leader. Again, Randy Renfro is in 2nd, trying to stay with Hornaday on the restart. Tony Raines in the Ford is 3rd. Joe Ruttman's Ford is 4th. Rick Corelli's number 6 Chevy is 5th. And Jimmy Hensley, Randy Tolson, Roper, Bliss, and Compton.
And Renfro again doesn't take off. He pulled out of the way this time, though. Apparently lost the motor or something, or the transmission or something just went wrong with Renfro's truck, and he didn't get the start, but he did get down out of the way.
Hornaday again gets a free pass out in front of the trouble. Here comes Raines and Ruttman in the 2 Fords, trying to run him down. They have a lap and a half to do it. Sauter spins in the back straightaway.
And caution is coming out because Renfro's truck is down on the inside here, and caution is coming out, so that'll be somewhat of a false start.
Quick caution. Jay Sauter had pitted and restarted back in 18th, and he went spinning down the back straightaway. Renfro, it's sheer speculation that he may have again missed a gear and lost either the transmission or the motor.
Mike, there was definitely smoke coming out of the back of the truck when he come by the flag stand here.
He's getting out of the truck. Has to be disgusting because he has had a great day. He has been impressive today.
And a great chance to win it. But when you go up against Ron Hornaday on a restart shootout, somebody's got to lose. Now there's Jay Sauter's truck at the inside of the back straightaway. You see the fenders crumpled in on it from earlier action with Brian Refner. And something happened to Sauter in the backstretch. He is still in the truck. Can't get it refired.
So do we go back and go green, white?
The preliminary word from the pits, Ned, is that Renfro may have run out of fuel.
Wow. Oh, my. He's been out there a long time. I mean, he did not stop when Hornaday and some others did.
Let's see what happened to Jay Sauter here in the back straightaway.
Lost it, slid down in front of some other trucks, and slid right there to the grass, and the thing died, and she said it doesn't want to fire again.
Battling in the back of the field, trying to move up through for a good finish.
You see him motioning, come on, push this thing.
Yeah, you can't hurt it.
I don't think
truck.
it's going to hurt anything, no. It's got enough damage. I think it hit it at 30 miles an hour and not hurt it. You see the rear wheel's not turning right now, though.
Like the rear end of locked up or the transmission. So Ron Hornaday will have to restart one more time. This time, though, it is not Renfro, it's Tony Raines. And Raines is a two-time winner this year. Hornaday with 4 victories.
And you see Joe Ruttman up there in 3rd place.
He's right there. We'll be back for the restart. You're watching the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live on CBS Sports.
In celebration of NASCAR's 50th anniversary, CBS Sports presentation of the Craftsman Truck Series is sponsored by Ford, makers of vehicles that are built to last. Head and Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes. And by Craftsman, 2,200 hand tools made in America and guaranteed forever.
That last restart shootout left Randy Renfro's truck on the hook and back to the garage. How many bullets does Ron Hornaday have left? Because now he has to hold off Tony Raines and Joe Ruttman to win this one.
And they are a couple of tough customers. And Rick Pirelli is no slouch. He's in 4th place. Jimmy Hensley is 5th. 1 lap to go, and we'll get that green flag once again and have that Saturday night shootout as we talked about.
And again, per the rules, they'll go green, white, checker. They did say in the drivers' meeting, however, if they have problems completing this race with 2 consecutive green flag laps, they will change the order and go to the green and white at the same time, followed by the checker. Stay tuned for the Goodwill Games. We may run a few minutes over time here at Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak International Raceway, where Ron Hornaday is trying to win his 5th NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race of the year. Tony Raines, that yellow and black truck, is trying to win his 3rd. For more on Tony Raines, here's Ralph.
Mike, Tony is solid in 2nd right now, but he does have a problem with the engine. It's not very strong. He's been fighting a miss all day today, so the crew is concerned that he won't be able to get the good drive on the restart that he needs here to hold off Joe Ruttman.
Ruttman sits in 3rd. He's won a race this year. Rick Pirelli in 4th place has not. A win 2 years ago at Bristol, Tennessee was his most recent victory, but this is his home racetrack. Here we go.
They better get a good start here. Hornaday gets a great start. Raines right with him.
Yes, Raines did get a good start.
Ruttman did not. 2 laps to run.
It'll be the white flag the next time by. Rain goes a little high there. Hornaday pulls away.
Stacy Compton moves past Tolsma on the right corner of your screen, and here comes the 2 of Mike Bliss. Hornaday in the win. Raines trying to close. Good battles in the back. It'll be white flag this time for Ron Hornaday.
Hornaday like a bullet. He just jumped out there about 15 truck length lead, but they're fighting back here for position like crazy behind him.
You can see that Mike Bliss was down on the inside trying to make a pass for the 7th position.
He's still coming. He's got Stacy Compton right there coming into view. That'll be for 6th place. Finally, the checkered flag will come out, and Ron Hornaday will have it in his windshield as he comes off turn number 4. 22nd career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win. Ron Hornaday. Tony Raines for 2nd. Joe Ruttman for 3rd. Rick Pirelli for a season-high 4th. Jimmy Hensley is 5th. Mike Bliss comes all the way to 6th. Ahead of Stacy Compton, Dennis Setzer, Randy Tolsma, and Tony Roper finishes in 10th.
Yeah, you won, Ron. You got it.
He's over having a conversation with Tony Raines up there, and truck's a little further back. Jimmy Hensley, that's who Hornaday was waving to in the 43. And Hornaday will take the point lead over Jack Sprague, who had engine trouble and came back out to finish 31st. It goes from Sprague plus 41 to Hornaday plus 69 points. Then Joe Ruttman. Here's a look at your top dozen. The trademark Hornaday smoke show on the front straightaway as he lights up the tires.
Oh, he got in the mud.
Oh,
don't go. Now they can't get to victory lane.
Not that way. Had a lot of rain here last night, and Hornaday, he wins, but he's stuck in the mud. No matter. 22 career victories, 5 this season. He has won 4 times on the 1-mile tracks this year. And Dick Berggren's run over to Ron Hornaday. Never mind victory lane.
Here we are.
Dick, go ahead.
Hey, Ronnie. 22nd career wins, 5 this year. Is that more important, or taking the lead in the points for the championship?
It doesn't matter. These guys, this Napa Break team, Fred Graves, this whole team is awesome to get us through these pits and everything. I tell you what, I did a spin out right there, and I couldn't run through the grass or to the logo because I did a copy of $500. But I tell you what, this guy right here, I owe it to everybody. This track is awesome. I mean, we got behind and we didn't know what we were going to do, and Fred came in and elected to change left side tires. That was the call. I tell you, it was awesome.
How about those restarts? How do you keep beating everybody on those things?
Well, everybody sits there and lays back. You know, when they lay back like that, it just gives you a run. You can't go to the white line. They start going as soon as they stop. And if they were pushing me through there, it's a whole different deal.
Okay, Mike Joy, to you.
Thanks, Dick, for that good hustle. For Buddy Baker, Ned Jarrett, Dick Berggren, and Ralph Shaheen, Mike Joy saying goodbye from Pikes Peak International Raceway, where Ron Hornaday wins the inaugural Pikes Peak 300K. This has been a presentation